Hello and welcome, I'm DrElectronics. In this video I'm going to show you how I made the 6 graphic card mining rig using this Gigabyte RX 6600 XT Gaming OC edition. And the power supply I'll be using is the Cooler Master 850 watts fully modular power supply. And the ASRock B450 Steel Legend motherboard with 6 PCIe slots. And the AMD Athlon 3000G processor. This is the version 9 riser cable with 8 capacitors. It is said to be most stable. It has 6-pin power connector on the side and on top. This is how it looks. 6-pin connector on top as well, and Molex connector. It comes with the standard SATA to PCIe power connector, which I'll be swapping out later on because I didn't get the parts on time. I'm waiting for that. This is the PCIe 1X connector which goes into the motherboard. These risers come standard with the USB 3 cable which act as the communication interface. Let's begin assembling the rig. First I connected the riser to the SATA to PCIe power cable. I'll be replacing these power cables with true PCIe power. Then we connect the interface cable to the USB and the other point of the USB cable to the riser. Assembling the riser is done. Now we connect the graphic card to the riser cable in the same fashion we did in the previous video. I'll be using 6 of these graphic cards, the Gigabyte RX 6600 XT Gaming OC edition. It connects to one 8-pin power supply. The PCIe 16X connector slots into the riser just like this. Easy and done. I have already prepared all these graphic cards, connected them to the risers. I made this mining frame keeping in mind all the dimensions of the graphic cards. I already have a RTX 3060 mining rig with the professional mining frame. So the restriction I had with this mining frame was to put it on top of that old mining frame, the professional one. I had to match the dimensions of this frame with that one. So it seems a little cramped, but it has good airflow and has enough spacing between the graphic cards. Now it's time to connect all the PCI connectors to the motherboard, separating them for sake of identification. I wanted to connect them in a series, starting from the left graphic card being the graphic card number 0 to the rightmost being the graphic card number 5. Connecting the first one, slotting it right there. All the graphic card was connected in the same fashion. Right. Making sure all the connections are tight and in place. Now we proceed to connecting the power to the risers using this SATA power cable, which I'll be swapping out later with the PCIe slooters, making this connection slow for demonstration. And then we proceed with the others in a similar fashion. I'm only connecting 2 risers to one SATA power cable so that current can be distributed evenly across all the SATA power ports on the power supply. Now this is all done. We'll now connect the PCI power cables to the graphic cards. The first 2 connections are done slowly for demonstration purpose. Each graphic card requires an 8-pin PCI power cable. Slotted in like that. Nice. PCIe power connections to other graphic cards were done in a similar fashion. All the connections have been made. We can see the completed rig here. I'll be connecting it soon, making sure all the connections are steady and tight. Admiring my rig from all angles, from the wooden frame to the connections, all done by myself. Powering it on before configuration, making sure all the connections are right. All the graphic cards are getting the power, all the riser cables are lit up. Everything seems to be right. Off camera, I loaded up Hive OS onto the SSD and configured the rig to run smoothly on a Wi-Fi dongle. I put the mining rig on top of the metal frame mining rig, the 5 graphic card GTX 3060 mining rig. I am restricted by the space in my house, that is why I have to go with this kind of arrangement at my home. It is space saving and gets the job done. Now connecting the power, the rig is all configured. As soon as I flip the switch, the rig will power on. It is configured that way through the BIOS setting so that whenever the power goes out and comes back, the rig will turn on by itself. And it runs. As expected, it is crucial to inspect the rig. At this moment also, it is going to be the final place of the rig, making sure everything works well, all the connections are good, everything powers on, everything works as it's supposed to. Later on, I swapped those SATA power risers with the 6-pin PCIe connector on the riser boards using these kind of PCIe 8-pin power splitters. These are easily available in all computer markets. One of these 8-pin connectors goes to the graphic card and the other goes to power the riser. PCIe power cables can handle more power than the SATA power cables. Along with the PCIe splitters, you can see these fans. Being at the corner of the room, I felt there was not enough airflow between the graphic cards. So I put these fans in. These are the Arctic PWM fans, 120mm fans. Their speed can be controlled via the BIOS settings. Airflow over or between the graphic cards is absolutely essential when you're mining 24/7 for probably 2-3 years to come. One of the most crucial components of the rig is the power button. The power button to the motherboard. It makes life easy for troubleshooting. Now let's check out the stats on Hive OS. We can see all the graphic cards are detected on the Hive OS and it's been running for a while now. All these graphic cards are making around 32.2 mega hash each, running pretty cool as well, with core temperatures ranging from 42 degrees to 45 degrees and 52 degrees to 55 degrees on memory temps. Now as seen with these AMD cards, whatever number of percentage you put in the fans to run at, Hive OS will always run them at -2 of whatever digit you put in. Though this is not a major problem. As can be seen, the graphic cards are running pretty cool, though it's winter now, but these numbers cannot be interpolated to summers. We'll have to wait and watch for what the stats will be at that time. And using Hive OS makes life very easy for miners. You can control everything and anything remotely. I have used Windows for mining, but it is very hard to overclock AMD GPUs using Windows. The drivers are not at all optimized for Windows properly, and it does not offer such great flexibility as you get in Hive OS. I highly recommend Hive OS for all kind of mining operations, be it ASIC mining operations or GPU based mining operation. Plus, first 4 rigs in your farm are free unless you're mining Etherium. Hive OS has its own pool. If you use other pools for mining Etherium, you will be charged nominally by the developers of Hive OS. It is always better to pay for a service that you're getting, especially when it holds some kind of a monetary value. You can never know what a free service provider is taking from you. On the other hand, you will not be charged to mine Etherium on Hive OS's pool, Hive On pool, for any number of farms less than 4 listed under your Hive OS ID. You can see Hive OS always shows this graph of how much mega hash was generated by the rig at what time of the day. You can see these gaps on the graph. They were created by power fluctuations between the power cut and the generator on. In my society, it happens so very often. And Hive OS keeps the data for all these stats. You can really assess the uptime performance of your rig. Let's start the Hive shell to see what the Teamredminer has to tell. The statistics are going to be the same as how the Hive OS was showing it. We have to type in miner at this console view to see what the Teamredminer has to tell, and it's showing the same 193 mega hashes on the pool. And if you like the content of this video so far, please do subscribe. It will help grow the channel and it will cost you nothing. So what are you waiting for? Hit that like or dislike button to let me know what you think about the video. Please do comment to share your thoughts or any other information that I missed out or quoted incorrectly. Thank you for watching the video so far. It's been really nice. Take care. Bye bye.